I'm Ric Edelman. Ever thought what it would be like to have your own home theater? We'll show you a doozy and reveal its costs. And how about long-term care insurance or 401k fees? We'll have solid advice for you on all this, plus a conversation with Ali Velshi, the chief business correspondent for CNN. All this straight ahead on this week's edition of The Truth About Money.
Best-selling author and founder of one of the nation's largest financial planning firms, Ric Edelman.
We all like to daydream. What would we do if we just had the money? Well, for a lot of us, well, okay, me, the dream is an enormous video screen with sound that can shake your bones. In other words, a little bit of a home theater. So I sent my colleague Anderson Wozni to get the story from Jeremy Kipnis, whose $6 million setup is in the Guinness Book of Records.
What would make someone want to install a home theater?
Well, if they're like myself, then they were really, really excited the first time that they went to a movie theater and they saw this incredible image and story up on the big screen. You just can't get the flavor out of your mind, and you have to eventually produce a home theater of your own.
What would you say is your average home theater installation cost?
Well, most people would probably be lucky to spend $5,000 on an installation. So by the time you're done with $5,000, you're at the point of having some good sound and some good picture in a fairly typical room.
So if our viewers are going to think about putting in a true high-end, a true home theater, what is the one thing that you would say that you really want them to have?
To put it bluntly, the more money that you can spend on the picture as an out-of-pocket expense, the more likely you are to be happy with your home theater.
Is it possible for me to get a first-run movie in my house?
In fact, it is. Roughly, the projectors are in the $100,000 to $500,000 range, depending upon screen size and brightness, and of course resolution. And a good sound system as well is going to, range upward of $500,000. In my installations that are more high-end, of course, I might choose a vacuum tube for the amplification circuit.
I've seen a vacuum tube, but I don't know that I've ever heard one.
If I have a choice, I would choose the vacuum tube because it's much warmer, it's much more three-dimensional, it's much more musical.
How does having a home theater affect the value of my home?
It is a perk. It probably does not add any value because it's not any more real estate. But if somebody wants to buy your house and they have something like a home theater that they were looking for in the first place, and it's ready to go, and they walk in and they push one button on the touch screen and they can watch whatever they want or listen to whatever they feel like, that is definitely a reason to buy a home. My greatest expression of the type of work that I do is to put together systems which will allow you to feel like you're there at the original recording session, or in the case of home theater, in the movie.
Jeremy, thank you so much for being with us today.
A great pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Well, the first question is the most obvious question.
Okay.
What movie did you watch while you were there?
We didn't get to watch a movie.
Oh, you're killing me.
Nah, I know, it was terrible.
But he did demo the gear, of course.
Of course, we got to see a lot of the really cool stuff, and to be honest with you, I was a bit overwhelmed. And as a techno geek, that's surprising for me.
Because you are an early adapter to technology, as we know in the office. But here's the real question. As he was demoing the gear, how many button pushing was going on? I'm wondering, would a mere mortal, would my wife, Jean, be able to operate this kind of equipment?
Without question, that's one of the greatest things about the technology. It's making it easier for us mere mortals to use it. With as simple as pulling out an iPad or a very simple remote control with a button that says TV, you push the TV and it comes on, the sound comes on, it's fantastic.
Well, that makes the access much, much better. But you're going to spend anywhere from tens of thousands to hundreds, even millions of dollars, according to what he had to say. It's not going to aid the value of the house, he said.
Nope.
But how long will the gear last? What's that planned obsolescence?
Well, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 years.
So you're going to spend maybe a couple of $100 grand, and you're going to have to do that repeatedly throughout the life of that house.
Perhaps repeatedly, and the thing that's a little bit scary about it is how quickly the technology is changing. It's 10 years today, but I wonder if in 5 years, it'll still be 10 years.
And how much of the existing gear is going to be able to be reusable, or is it a whole thing going to have to get trashed? So this is a pretty big decision you've got to make.
It is a big decision, and the one thing that I asked that said, what is the most important thing that you're doing when you're designing? He said, make sure you get the wiring right. Because once you get that done, a lot of it's just unplugging and plugging back in.
So do it because you love it and you're having fun, not because you think it's a great investment. Anderson, thanks so much.
Thank you.